Shares in the US company GameStop have fallen back sharply in after-hours trading on Wall Street. The gaming company is seen as a target for so-called short sellers who make money when share prices fall.
My name is Vlad Tenev, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Robinhood. Thank you for the invitation to speak about Robinhood and the millions of people we serve.
Last year, one institution processed more money than the entire planet produced in economic output. Not the Federal Reserve, not the IMF, not Goldman Sachs, a back-office clearinghouse in New York that you have almost certainly never heard of. And here's the terrifying part. In January 2021, it almost broke. A Reddit forum buying GameStop stock created a collateral crisis so severe that one of America's biggest brokerages had $3 billion to find by 10 a.m. or it was done. $3 billion. 6 hours. That nemesis exposed something Wall Street has known for decades and never talked about publicly. The entire global financial system runs on a single invisible machine. Every stock trade, every bond, every ETF flows through one place. And if that place stops working, even for a few hours, every bank account, every credit card, and every electronic transfer on Earth freezes simultaneously. Not just in America, everywhere. This is the story of the DTCC, how it was built, how close it has come to breaking, and why it is now in the middle of the biggest transformation in its 50-year history. Section 1. The paper crisis that built it. To understand why the DTCC exists, you have to go back to the late 1960s and one of the most absurd crises in financial history. Wall Street was drowning in paper. Every single trade required the physical delivery of a stock certificate. A buyer bought shares, a seller sold shares, and somewhere in between, a human being, usually a young courier, had to physically carry the actual paper certificate from one office to another, through the streets of Lower Manhattan, on foot. By 1968, the volume of trading had grown so fast the system was completely overwhelmed. The NYSE had to close on Wednesdays just to let back offices catch up on the backlog. Billions of dollars in certificates were lost, stolen, or simply misplaced. Some were found stuffed in garbage cans. One brokerage firm discovered millions in certificates that had just been sitting in a filing cabinet, forgotten. The whole thing was teetering on the edge of complete collapse. The solution was elegant. Immobilize all those certificates in one central vault, and instead of moving paper, just update a ledger. You bought shares. We update a line in the book. You sold them. We update it again. The paper stays put. Only the record moves. This sounds simple. It was not. It was a complete rewiring of how financial markets function. And it worked. Section 2. The machine that never sleeps. Today, the DTCC operates at a scale that is genuinely hard to comprehend. In a single year, it processes securities transactions valued at over $1 quadrillion. That is a 1 with 15 zeros. The entire planet's economic output, every country, every person, every transaction on Earth, is about $100 trillion per year. The DTCC handles more than 10 times that. Its depository subsidiary holds and services securities worth nearly $90 trillion, with assets from over 150 countries. The mechanism that makes this possible is called netting. Imagine trader A owes trader B $10 million. Trader B owes trader C $10 million. Trader C owes trader A $10 million. Without a central system, that is 3 separate risky transactions. With netting, the DTCC's clearinghouse, called the NSCC, sees all 3 at once, calculates that the net result is 0, and nobody moves anything. Apply that logic to millions of trades a day, across every stock and bond and ETF in the American market, and you start to understand what the DTCC actually does. It does not just process transactions. It makes most of them disappear, legally, safely, efficiently, so that only the residual amounts that actually need to move actually move. During volatile periods, the NSCC has processed over $5.5 trillion in a single day. One day, Section 3, when it almost broke, the DTCC has been stress-tested twice in ways that could have ended the global financial system. September 11, 2001, the towers fall. The financial district is a disaster zone. The DTCC activated backup locations and kept working. In the aftermath, they settled $1.8 trillion in transactions, preventing a financial catastrophe from piling on top of a national tragedy. The engine held. 2008, Lehman Brothers collapses with over $530 billion in exposure that needed to be unwound. The DTCC stepped in, methodically liquidated Lehman's positions, and contained the contagion. The 2008 crisis was devastating. A complete financial meltdown was prevented. The engine bent. It did not break. But there was a third moment, and this one most people actually remember, even if they did not know the DTCC was involved. January 28, 2021. GameStop, a community of retail investors on Reddit, had driven the stock of a struggling video game retailer from $17 to nearly $500 in a matter of days. At 4 a.m. Pacific time, Robinhood received a letter from the NSCC demanding it post $3 billion in collateral by 10 a.m. that morning. Robinhood only had $700 million available. It was $3 billion short, with 6 hours to find the rest. Robinhood's CEO got on the phone with investors in the middle of the night. By 10 a.m., they had raised $1 billion, enough to partially satisfy the demand. The NSCC also reduced the requirement after Robinhood agreed to restrict buying in the volatile stocks. Robinhood raised a total of $3.5 billion over the following days just to stay solvent. To tens of millions of retail investors, the decision to restrict GameStop buying looked like a conspiracy. Hedge funds calling in favors, big finance protecting itself from the little guy. Congressional hearings were held. The reality was more mundane and more terrifying at the same time. It was not a conspiracy. It was the clearing system doing exactly what it was designed to do, demanding collateral to cover the risk of volatile, unsettled trades. The problem was the 2-day settlement window. In the time between a trade executing and the money clearing, prices could move dramatically. Somebody had to be on the hook. The GameStop episode accelerated the push to fix that window. In May 2024, the US moved from T+2 to T+1, 1 business day settlement. That single change cut collateral requirement brokerages need to hold by roughly half. The direct legacy of a Reddit forum and a stock nobody should have been paying that much attention to. Section 4. What failure actually looks like. So what happens if the DTCC actually fails? It is Monday morning. The market is supposed to open. News alerts flash. Systemic halt. You open your brokerage app. Frozen. Transactions currently unavailable. By noon, your credit card is declined. The gas station pumps are off. Cash only. The ATM is out of service. A line has formed outside the bank. By end of day, international trade has stopped. Letters of credit that guarantee shipments cannot settle. Companies cannot make payroll. The assumption that $1 in your account is actually there, the assumption the entire economy runs on, has evaporated. This is not a stock market crash. That is like a fire in one part of the city. A DTCC failure is the water mains, the power grid, and the fire department all failing simultaneously. There is no one to call for help, because the system you would use to make the call is the one that is broken. This is not science fiction. This is the scenario regulators and the DTCC itself model and stress test every single day. Because they know the smooth functioning of this invisible engine is the only thing standing between the modern economy and the financial dark ages. Section 5. The engine reimagined. The DTCC is not standing still. Starting in June 2026, the NSCC is scheduled to move to a 24/5 operational schedule, running continuously from Sunday evening to Friday evening. When you place a trade at midnight, the clearing process begins almost immediately. The risk that builds up overnight in unsettled trades shrinks dramatically. But the bigger transformation is tokenization. In late 2025, the SEC gave a DTCC subsidiary the green light to begin tokenizing real-world assets, taking actual securities held in its vaults and creating corresponding digital tokens on a blockchain. Not crypto versions of stocks. Regulated digital representations with identical ownership rights and legal protections to the underlying assets. The pilot program rolling out in the second half of 2026 is a bridge between traditional finance and decentralized finance. A token representing a share of a blue-chip stock that can move and be used as collateral on a blockchain network, instantly, anywhere in the world, 24 hours a day, with the full legal backing of the most important clearing institution on Earth. This is not the DTCC being replaced by crypto. This is the $99 trillion engine of Wall Street absorbing blockchain technology to become even more powerful. The institution created to manage paper certificates is now pioneering the path to a fully digital, tokenized financial future. The DTCC was born from a crisis, paper certificates stuffed in garbage cans, couriers running through the streets of Manhattan with billions in their hands, a system on the verge of total collapse. It fixed that crisis so completely that most people alive today have never heard of it, which is, in a strange way, the highest compliment you can pay to a piece of financial infrastructure. It held together on September 11th. It held through the Lehman collapse. It held through GameStop. Each time the engine was stressed in ways nobody had anticipated, it bent but did not break. Now it is evolving. Faster settlement, extended hours, tokenized assets on blockchain. The world's financial plumbing is being upgraded while the water is still running. Every stock you have ever bought or sold, every dollar that has ever moved electronically between two accounts, all of it runs through infrastructure most people will never think about. The DTCC is the invisible engine. It works because it is invisible. And the day it stops being invisible is the day everyone on Earth feels it at the same time. Subscribe to Stag Research if you want to understand the systems that actually run the world. Not the ones on the news, but the ones underneath.